Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork down for a while.
Hello and welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie Cation here. It is November or December, which means please do not donate to the Dork Forest this month. Direct donations should go to your local food bank. To do that, you would Google the words food bank and then the name of your town, and then one will show up. And then you will send them the $10 or the $100 or the gajillion dollars that you would have sent to me, Jackie Cation, to a food bank in your neighborhood. Anyway, let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song you just heard. He's going to sing his words to the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio, and Vilmos works on my website, JackieCation.com. The dorkforest.com has all the notes, the link to the YouTube version of the show, which is just the show is available on iTunes, and there's a player on dorkforest.com, but there's also a YouTube version of it if you can't listen to iTunes for some reason at work, but you can listen to YouTube, so knock yourself out. JackieCation.com has all the rest of it. If you want to support the show by buying Christmas gifts, or Hanukkah gifts, or Kwanzaa gifts, go to the merch page, knock yourself out. All the t-shirts, there's Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirts, there's Spooky Reading Girl, there is Meat Shield t-shirts. The Meat Shield t-shirts remain a charitable t-shirt that go to the ACLU, Black Lives Matter, and Southern Law Poverty Center. You can do that. There are also pins, Spooky Reading Girl and Meat Shield pins. Those are not yet available on the website because I haven't gotten it together. But email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com, and we'll figure it out. There is my calendar, which is available. You can see where I'm playing stand-up comedy-wise, and I'm on the road a bunch in December this year, so feel free to come out and see me do stand-up comedy live. There are videos. You can watch me do stand-up comedy. You can see a clip of my DVD, This Will Make an Excellent Horcrux, which is available streaming or as a hard copy on the merch page as well. There is the Amazon banner. If you're going to order from Amazon, you can use the Amazon banner on dorkforest.com or JackieCation.com. It's just a portal, sends you to Amazon, you order like normal, and it supports the Dork Forest. There are premium episodes on Bandcamp. So it'd be the dorkforest.bandcamp.com, and they are probably a dozen episodes that are live. They cost me a couple of bucks to make, so I charge you a couple of bucks. There's also some free episodes and a storytelling album on that Bandcamp page. Help yourself. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Feel free to review it on iTunes if you like, or email me if you have any questions or problems, Jackie@JackieCation.com. Let's get into the show. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. Finally, Erin K. Foley. Welcome back to Van Nuys.
Oh, Van Nuys, I've missed it. I get a newsletter from Van Nuys every week. I'm like, why haven't I been back?
Where have you been? Van Nuys will write, Dear Erin K. Foley.
Yeah.
People, by the way, you should go to erinfoley.com or erinkfoley.com and at Erin K. Foley on Instagram and Erin Foley Comic on Twitter. Little punchy, you guys. Little punchy. 'Tis the season, as they say. This day that you will be listening to this for the first time, American public, Earth public, Rangers of the Dork Forest, Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, because today's the damn day. Now, Erin Foley, unforeseen dorkdom. For you have a podcast called Sports Without Balls, and we have spoken other times about sports.
Yes.
There's usually a ball involved. Sometimes it's just distance running. God knows what we've talked about.
Yeah. Ironically, not a big fan of balls in my personal life, but on the court, yes.
On the court, you're like swinging
Give me the
dick.
balls.
Swinging dick and a ball. What's happening? This is going to get a little punchy, you guys. So wait, but no, and it's funny because you like those Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movies.
Well, there's a distinction.
Oh,
I can
pardon
see
me.
that you're not a super fan because it's Hallmark movie channel.
Okay.
And then there's Lifetime. Then they put holiday movies on recently on the Lifetime channel.
Okay.
But it's not Hallmark Lifetime movies.
No, those are two different channels, I think,
Yeah.
right? But
Well,
I feel like they're the same kind of movies,
They
are
are
they not?
the same genre,
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
But the Hallmark has really blown it out, next
really?
level the last couple of years. And then everyone's like, oh, there's a crazy market for these insane people that love these movies. And believe me, I am not alone.
You are not alone.
Yeah, people go crazy. And now Lifetime has jumped on the bandwagon. So they have their set of Hallmark in quotes movies. Let's just say holiday movies.
Holiday movies.
Now Netflix, the last couple years,
Oh, right. Don't they have a channel?
they have. I don't know if they have a channel.
or like a playlist.
When I
A
go
playlist.
to Hallmark or when I go to Netflix, they have their holiday movies. But the difference being they have people of color. Hooray!
What?
Yeah.
Have they
Hallmark,
decided?
real white,
Super white.
so white?
Weirdly enough, Netflix aware that non-whitey magoos enjoy a holiday.
Yeah.
Is that the reveal? Netflix
Yeah.
has some sense that
Yeah.
there might be a person, an Asian person, a black person, a brown person.
I haven't seen any Asians yet, but what I have seen is, I've done
Some black
probably
people, some brown people.
some black people, some brown people, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
It's like you don't think about it until you do the deep dive into Hallmark. Okay, here comes. People start early. I start post Thanksgiving.
Oh, is that when
Go
it starts?
crazy.
Okay.
No, I think they probably watch it since October. Hallmark has now blown it out of the water. The holiday movies, now for them it's Christmas. They do white and they do Christmas. It's not like I can't even tell you if I've seen anything. There's no Hanukkah because there's only white people, right? There's only
Right.
white Christian people.
Right. And is it Christ-like? Is there a lot of Christmas in the
I
Christmas?
try to avoid the Christ-like ones because you could see them in the opposite, in the direct, if they're like, Paula from the big city, runs into Josh from the Old Testament, blah, blah, and you're like, oh, now I'm going to pass on that one. You can kind of smell out the biblical ones.
Right.
And I do a hard pass on those.
Hard pass. Remember Maria's whole joke about how they're always trying to sell you something and then
it's
it's a
church?
secret and it's church and it's like
funny.
it's a coffee shop. It's called The Rock. No, that's church. Is it like that?
Well, yeah, sometimes they sneak them in. I was watching one, and I've written down the titles and description. This wasn't in it. But I'll tell
Wait,
you.
you have cards.
I have index
love
cards
that.
prepared for this dorkdom.
Erin Foley, this could go longer than an hour. We don't know. We don't know. Go ahead.
Well, when the biblical ones sneak up on you sometimes, right? I forget what this one was called. Let's just say Rodeo Christmas. So we're in like small town country USA. And she comes it's her ex-boyfriend comes back into town and he's a country singer, right? But she's looking at this property that she wants to buy like off in the distance, and all of a sudden there's like whatever the biblical passage was.
There isn't a star over that.
I pulled the plug on minute 30. I actually had to go to bed. I'll go back. But they did a voiceover of, I think, the same passage as Charlie Brown, but not in a cute Linus way, like, lights, please. Not in that way. Which I've tried to memorize. But it was like a creepy older dude of like, then the Lord. And you're like, oh, come on. She's looking at a field, Wrap this up.
Right.
But yeah.
She's going to want a bathroom en suite.
It's just, they're so cheesy, but like I can't stop. But the Netflix editions have been fun because of the diversity.
Right. There's at least something else going on. I watched one the other night.
What did you see? What was the plot?
I was just in Colorado, so this is 3 weeks ago from when this goes up. But with Maria, they had a real nice TV. And Maria Bamford has been telling me about what she's been watching, which is 90 Day Fiancé. And
she watches 90 Day Fiancé?
yeah, and something else about where you have pull the plug or don't pull the plug, but you better quick decide whether you want this house. Well, it has almost everything we want. It has 2 guest rooms and a mud room, but the back isn't landscaped. So whatever, she's watching some HGTV bullshit. And so I was like, people like these Hallmark movies. So I go on the Hallmark, and it was genuinely super white. And it was about, there were two of them I watched. One was about a woman who used to love Christmas and then started a cookie company, and she made cookies, and then the Nutcracker showed up. Did you hear about the Nutcracker guy?
Okay, Jackie, this is really crazy.
I've only seen the end of it, like the last 40 minutes.
Okay, it's called A Very Nutty Christmas.
Oh, is it really?
Now, the reason why I know this is Mary Foley. Mary Foley.
Your mother.
It's one of my favorite things to do on stage. It doesn't get old for me, but for the audience, it does. I go, do you guys know Mary Foley? And everyone just kind of pauses. I go, my mother? Oh, God, it's just a timeless classic. And the 28 million years I've been doing stand-up. So my mom, I'm in San Diego on Friday, and I call my parents, and they're always surprised where I am, because I don't tell them anything, because they panic.
Right.
So she goes, well, where are you? Like, I'm like, San Diego. It's fine. It's like 2 hours from LA. Oh, all right.
Too close to the border. Honey, too
the
close.
Caravan. Are you part of the Caravan Network? Remember when that was news? So my mom, all right, so I talked to my mom, then I talked to my dad. And then and he goes, your mother's waving. Hold on. And then my mom comes back on, 82 years old, and she goes, okay, Erin, I'm on Lifetime. Or it was Lifetime.
It was Lifetime. It was Lifetime.
She goes, I'm on Lifetime. You know, they started holiday movies now. They started a lot of them. Because we go on a deep dive as a family. My two sisters and Mary and Dick Foley, we will watch when we're all gathered.
Oh, your dad's in too.
Well, he can only stomach some of them, but he's a real cheeseball, like romantic at heart.
Sure.
So he'll take it as, and then sometimes he has to step out. But my mom, and I wrote this down, and you're literally describing, my mom gets on the phone, she goes, oh, Erin, I got a good one for you. And I go, what? She goes, okay, I'm watching Lifetime Holiday. She goes, there's this baker. She's great at baking. She's really stressed out because she just got an order for 1,000 Christmas cookies. And she's stressed, and her boyfriend's like, you don't have enough time for me. And they break up because she's too busy. And guess what? I go, what? She goes, her boyfriend's Santa Claus. I was like dying. And
he is the town
by the Nutcracker at the end.
He's the town Santa Claus. And but he's some sort of dirtbag of some sort in the most Lifetime holiday movie kind of way, which means not really.
Yeah.
And then the Nutcracker, who is a toy, comes to life. And then
is it a toy come to life?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
toy
they went
comes
to a magical realism.
Yeah, they went magic. And then, of course, he has to leave. Spoiler alert, guys.
Oh.
Toy doesn't stick it out.
Mary Jo Hart, I think it was. The whitest actress on the planet.
Possibly she could not. She was almost translucent.
Yeah, I think
she
it was
was
Mary Jo Hart.
enormously blonde and very sort of. She kind of had that sort of cool baker roundness. Like her face was round, and she
played a baker.
Yeah.
She probably put on 5, 10, 15 before the part.
She might have
just
put on
cookies.
like 6.5 pounds, and I'm sure
threw it up right after post-production.
Right after. She's like, "I'm not going to the party, you guys. I got some real throwing up to do." Anyway, so I saw that one, the end of that one, and then I went over to Hallmark because I knew we were going to do this.
Yes,
and I went over to Hallmark and I saw the beginning of one. I don't necessarily need to see the whole ones. I can just see 20 minutes. I get the gist.
Do you know the meaning of Christmas?
I called Andy Ashcraft and I said to him, hey, I just watched a show on Lifetime, and it was about a woman who needed to learn the meaning of Christmas. I said, do you know the meaning of Christmas? He said, is it the meaning of Christmas? And I said, yeah, it's the meaning of Christmas. And then we said the meaning of Christmas at each other about 6 times.
There's nothing funnier than saying the meaning of Christmas.
Right. The meaning of Christmas, it turns out, for Baker Lady, was that people like cookies, but calm down. There'll be enough cookies. You don't have to be the one.
Okay.
The message of the second one was a different one. The guy worked at an advertising company, and she was a personal shopper, and she had the meaning of Christmas. He didn't. The Nutcracker in the last one had the meaning of Christmas, had to give it to the baker.
Yeah.
Pow, pow.
It's a lot of swapping.
It's a lot of one person doesn't have it.
Yeah.
The other person does.
Yeah. I was going to say, you've really hit, for someone that's just gaining some speed here in the Hallmark, you are really nailing on a very big theme. So one of the big themes is someone's like bursting with Christmas cheer. You know, they're like pow 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 coming out every orifice, Christmas cheer, and then you got the Grinch, you know, and they're like, we are consumerism is, you know, I didn't have a family, and they're like, okay, come to our small town from the big city. And then, boom, 90 minutes is basically all it takes for them to make 180. Boom. Now I'm shitting Christmas.
Has this ever happened? Somebody inherits a Christmas tree farm.
No, it's the best. Can I just
yes,
wanted...
Please read
now,
some...
there's so many different versions, but this
yes.
to me is my... This to me... Because sometimes you get the double whammy. Now the double whammies to me are my favorite, where you get the meaning of Christmas,
sure, the meaning of Christmas,
and you get romance.
Romance,
yes,
with no finance is a damn nuisance. I don't know if you remember Big Daddy Kane, 1989. Anyway,
that is a great line.
It sticks with you, it really does. Romance with no finance, big nuisance.
Yes, and that's.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
poetry.
is that a your dadcation quote?
If Big Daddy Kane were Big Daddy Elliot Cation, yes, but no.
I think one of my favorite lines is the Biggie Smalls line, and I can't remember the first part, but it was basically don't come into this club and shoot up the room because some of these ladies are having my babies. I was always like, that is an excellent point.
Right. Some of these ladies are having my babies. So
like,
if you could take
ladies are having my baby. I'm like, yeah, don't shoot up this place. I got ladies on every corner. Jesus. All right. So here's like the perfect one. This is what I mean by like the double whammy. Last night I watched Let It Snow. Now,
oh, that's a good name.
It's a great name because one of the themes in these movies is about every other movie, one of the characters has never seen snow. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And
21st century.
Shocker, wait for it, the last 10 seconds. It snows.
And is it a beautiful big flake of snow? That kind of snow, the good
it's
snow?
It's just they look up and she goes, it's one of those.
Oh.
Another Hallmark go-to is Candace Cameron Bure, but Candace Cameron from the show we grew up on, Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Kirk Cameron, crazy Christian, her brother. I'm sure she's a Christian as well, but that's fine. But she's less vocal.
She's first an actress.
Fruitcake brother.
She's just...
Candace Cameron's got a lockdown on these Hallmark movies.
Oh, she in a lot of them?
Oh, she's in like every other one.
Okay.
So she's in Let It Snow. Here's the description. After a resort company purchased a new property... I can't even read in my own writing. Wait. I don't know. I'm going to make up this word. Literally can't read my writing. After a resort company purchases a new property, a stressed out business lady must inspect the land and file an important report on its status.
Important.
Yeah.
That's key.
So here's
happens?
A major plot of most of these movies. You'll have
the Cameron lady
a businesswoman. Yeah. So this actually was like triple threat. This is why I give this movie an A.
All right.
As if these movie reviews or people are hanging on to the movie review of Let It Snow. It was a three-pronger.
The rotten Christmas cane. We're going to give it all of them.
Fixed peppermint. She was from Arizona. Ugh, so many problems there. Sorry, I know there's. This is a very popular podcast, so Arizona, not one of my favorite states, but there's wonderful people in the state of Arizona.
Right. You guys rise up.
Rise up. Anyway. Yes. Yeah. It's just
Go ahead.
Anyway, so she's in Arizona.
That's why no snow.
Yeah, she's never seen snow. Her mom died at an early age. Her father's Alan Thicke. Weirdly enough, the same father she had in Growing Pains.
That is weird.
R.I.P. Alan Thicke. So Alan Thicke...
So this one's older.
No. Yeah, well, last year. He must have filmed it like...
Right on
the
his
day before he
deathbed.
died. So sorry. It's awful. He's like, that's a wrap on Let It Snow. And then he passes out.
I'm so sorry. Let me do a little act out of how horrible it was when Alan Thicke died.
The only podcast where you reenactments of Alan Thicke's death.
Oh my God.
So she's always wanted to experience Christmas, never has. After her mom died, her father became like crazy business guy, cut off all feelings and emotions. So she joined.
Because that's what you do.
That's what you do. You close up shop.
Hey, Batman, fucking get it together. Do you know the rest of us just keep moving? We just keep living our lives. We don't just shut down.
Just shut it
But she
down.
just shut down.
So she joins her father's company just so she can spend time with her dad, right?
Okay.
So she's trying to take over like this big division, and this is a major plot in all these movies. They go from corporate city America. They're very busy. The first scene is usually her on a laptop or on a phone. I kid you not.
They're enormously busy.
So busy. They go to a lodge or an inn. Now, a lodge and an inn has to be included in all these movies.
Fair enough.
She goes up to the lodge. Her dad's corporation bought the lodge. It's family owned. They celebrate Christmas. Can I swear on this?
Yes,
like
fucking A.
motherfuckers.
Okay.
They're literally, they have all these traditions, all these families for 50 years come to celebrate Christmas. She's on her
Right.
laptop and she's like, I don't give a fuck. I got to make this report.
Hot cocoa. Who drinks hot cocoa?
There will be a line in the movie that says, is anybody up for cocoa? You're nailing this, Jackie.
Well, I do have some history in romance.
Yeah.
Go.
So the romance, of course, is, so we get, she always liked Christmas, but has been shut off from Christmas. And now she literally gets 5 days of a winter Christmas wonderland.
Right.
And
She's fallen into a pumpkin spice latte.
for sure. And the son, of course, the hunky lumber
yeah.
guy who's
Oh,
got
lumber.
a lot of ideas on innovations, but the father shut him down.
Flannel?
Flannel the whole
Excellent.
time.
The whole time.
They fall in love.
Sure.
Then the father, it's a long
her
story. Santa, she wrote a letter to Santa. He sees it. She's like, all I want for Christmas is spend time with my dad. So then you get the dad back at the end. So you get a father-daughter reunited.
Oh my God.
The
Does he
meaning
melt?
of Christmas.
Does Dad melt? Alan
No,
Thicke?
Alan Thicke stays upright until his heart attack. And then they decide to be together. So that's to me one of the best examples of the beauty and the joy of white people at Christmas.
I've heard so much about these white people at Christmas stories.
Yeah.
And often there's flannel.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's I have to say, this is the one that Jen Kirkman told me about. Now, have you seen this one? Where
Yes, I have.
Okay. Because she was talking about doing one of these very episodes.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the six movies that she likes that have these same plots.
Oh, yeah. We got to get Jen to call in. I don't think she leaves her house.
Exactly. Whisper. And so it was something about a woman in New York who inherits a Christmas tree, essentially a land full of Christmas trees that are to be all chopped down, and there's been some sort of trouble. And she's like, I don't want to be in the Christmas tree industry. And so she takes what is like a pencil skirt and her blazer, and she heads out into
sounds amazing.
northern New York.
Yeah.
Like rural New York, and sees a bunch of pine trees. And then there's a guy who's the manager of the Christmas tree farm.
Yeah.
And then that man wears flannel.
Yes.
And has a real nice set of shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then bow chicka bow bow.
Yep.
And in the midst of all that, we find out that the real meaning of Christmas is selling Christmas trees. Do you know that in the Nutcracker, the nutty professor of Christmas movies, whatever I just watched, we learned at the end, one of the things we learned was that the Nutcracker, that guy has got some organizational skills. They made 6,000 cookies. They didn't just make 1,000 cookies.
Oh, wow.
Chop chop on that guy. And
But he came to life like he wasn't a real dude. You don't see a lot of magical stuff.
it was magical, and he
Wow.
came to life.
Okay.
And
That's why it was called A Very Nutty Christmas.
Right. And the weirdest thing was at the end, the other message. There were two messages. One, lots and lots of cookies need to be sold.
Yes.
Second, they load the truck. The union is bad because it was a union truck and they wouldn't load it because they didn't have enough guys. And she was like, you have to load it. And he was like, well, if you give me just cash. And this guy tries to shake her down. But one of the B plots of the Nutty Christmas was that the
was
Teamsters
the Nutcracker
Union,
Michael Cohen?
The Nutcracker was Mr. Avenatti, and all of a sudden there was some sort of trouble. And I was like, hey man, don't slam the union.
Yeah, that's odd, huh?
It was weird. It was a weird one.
So it got political.
It got political, but Nutcracker guy wore the hat the whole time. Wore the outfit the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he did not have the painted face of the ballet Nutcracker.
Right.
He had a beard.
I'm going to have to now watch this.
You're gonna have to see it. Give me another one. What else you got?
Okay, but I love the plot of it's always a woman from in the city. Apparently there's no moral values in cities. And my older sister, Tara, who's lived in New York City for like 28 years and now lives in small town Texas because she's a professor. Did I tell you that, right? She went from New York City to Waco, Texas.
Right.
She's a professor at Baylor. She's like, every time we watch these, we all love them. And as soon as it turns off, it's like, you know how every single family member says the same thing over the holidays?
Yes.
Tara will go, the only problem is, and Megan and I look at each other, we're like, here it comes. It's just like, oh, the cities are like big and bad and there's no moral compass in the cities and the small towns are, I mean, come on, don't be ridiculous. I mean, check that off the Christmas list.
Everyone has to say everything. It's
Right.
like watching slides with my dad. Every time he sees this one picture, he's in the Bahamas. He's taken a picture of a very beautiful, he said she was German and she was wearing a bikini. And he took a picture of her, and she was there with a much, much older man. And the two of them came up to him after he took the picture and were all in his face and all grumpy that he had and he was like, no, I was taking a picture of the boat behind you. And he tells that story every time we see that slide. And then at the end of it, he goes, you see a boat in this picture? You do not. And because there's never a boat. So Elliot-cation, me too. Oh. Anyway. There's gradations, as I think we all know.
Oh,
anyway,
boy. Me Too light, I guess. Just a touch of the Me Too. Here's a couple. Here's a couple that I have. Oh, this one I loved. The Holiday Calendar. This is on Netflix, and it's a black family.
Oh.
And boy, was it refreshing. Also, one of my favorite actors from The Wire was in it. He plays the grandfather.
Excellent. What's it called?
The Holiday Calendar.
Got it.
A photographer inherits an antique advent calendar that seems to predict her future, including a budding romance.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, that was super fun. Oh, this one I really enjoyed too. Christmas Inheritance. Before ambitious heiress Ellen Langford can inherit her father's business, she must deliver a special Christmas card to her dad's former business partner in Snow Falls. It's always called like Snow Falls or like Candle Lane or whatever it is. When a snowstorm... There's always a snowstorm. When a snowstorm
because otherwise people would leave.
Yes, they'd be like, get me out of this shithole.
Get me out of this shithole. I gotta go. Nope, trapped in by Christmas.
And then you're going to know what the meaning is. When a snowstorm strands her at the town inn, ding, 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 she discovers the true gift of Christmas. Ding, 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 ding. That one had a really good side plot, too, because her boyfriend, it starts in the big city. But it was really fun because the actress was fun, and they show her like partying at the Christmas, like just doing shots and doing like tumbles. She tumbled into a tree. I was like, I want to hang out with this lady. Then she had her deadbeat boyfriend who was like just on his phone, just ugh. Then she goes to small town USA, discovers the meaning of Christmas.
Nobody even
and
has
a white
smartphone.
man. That's wonderful.
Oh, not a wonderful white man. Wait, is the Holiday Calendar is with the black family?
Yes.
And the next one, Snow Falls, that's a white family?
Christmas Inheritance. It's a white family, although she had a black boyfriend to start with.
Oh,
so I was like,
who was
sweet.
too
But
into
then-
his phone.
But then he was using her because she was an heiress.
Oh, fair enough.
I might call myself an heiress next week.
It'll get you some dates. People, there's a great line in a Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn movie called Holiday.
It's one of the a phenomenal movie.
It's a phenomenal movie. It's it's over New Year's Eve, and at one point, Cary Grant says to not Katharine Hepburn but her evil sister, who he's dating in the beginning of the movie, "Well, you must all be so rich," and she said, well, is it important? He goes, well, it's a very nice accomplishment for a girl. Oh. It's sort of like playing the piano.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's such a great line. Big Daddy Kane would have said it.
Big Daddy.
He would have said it if he were alive in 1938. So those are both those are Netflix.
Some of those are the Christmas Inheritance is Netflix. Holiday Calendars
is
Netflix.
Okay.
Let It Snow is Hallmark. Reunited. This one was okay.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
I wish it felt better. This one was weird. It was when a woman accepts her boyfriend's proposal, a revelation leads her to her new fiancé to be forced to play out a charade during the holiday. But basically, he proposes like on Christmas Eve. I mean, come on, just celebrate the holiday. Too much. Just too everything.
You got to give yourself 4 days till Christmas. 4 days for the magic to happen. That's how long a Christmas movie ought to last. 4 days.
It was just, don't double dip on the celebration. She's there at her dead grandmother's house. It's the first time her family's been reunited. He's like, let's make this about me. And he turns out to be sweet, and then she takes him back, but whatever. This one I have on deck. Christmas Ornament. After a widow decides to keep her holiday festivities low key, she soon encounters a Christmas tree lot owner who provides her with a decoration.
What? That's so weird. What's
Isn't
that on?
So random. These are all Hallmark.
That's Hallmark.
Yeah.
Now, are there Christmas? Because I have my stack of Christmas movies that I watch.
What are your go-tos?
Well, the same. I watch the same movies every year. But 3 years ago, I added a movie from I think 2008. It's a Queen Latifah movie, The Last Holiday. Are you familiar with The Last Holiday?
I don't think I've seen The Last Holiday, and I love my queen.
Yeah, your queen is on fire.
Yeah.
Timothy Hutton is in it. You might remember him from Taps and other things.
And other uplifting films.
He plays the weasel. He
always plays the weasel.
He's a weasel, and
he's got a weasel face.
He might because he's tiny, but whatever it is, he nails it. And then. And Queen Latifah, and it might be LL Cool J. I have that thing where I don't recognize anyone.
Yeah.
And I've seen the movie easily 6 times.
They are good friends.
They are they?
I think so.
Okay, so it is a romance, but it's super light as far as the romance is just sort of bookended.
Yeah.
And what it is Queen Latifah is told that she has a very rare disease and she's going to die.
Oh.
Yeah. And it turns out, of course.
Gas. Is it just gas?
It was a bad MRI machine. Anyway, but she takes all of her money, and she has Gerard Depardieu is in it before he went Russian.
I was excited before he didn't pay his tax.
Exactly, and so he plays a famous chef, like a Bam, that guy, Emerald Lagasse, like the Bam guy.
Yeah.
And he even has a cameo in it, Emerald Lagasse, and but. The hilarious thing is, so our character, Queen Latifah, has been socking it away, working really hard, gonna one day live her dreams, has a book of possibilities. LL Cool J's like photo, his employee of the month photo has been superimposed onto all of these like wedding photos. It isn't creepy at all that she's stalking this dude with a possibilities thing.
Wow.
And anyway, she finds out she has like 2 weeks to live. So she dashes off. She decides to blow it all. Takes like $200,000 and goes to the Alps.
Okay.
Into some spa, and that's where her congressman is, and that's where Timothy Hutton, who owns the department store she works at, and
they're all there.
They're all there. And so there's wacky hijinks with a snowboard.
Okay.
There's amazing clothing that's happening. There's a lot of great food. Gerard Depardieu plays she went there because he was the chef.
Okay.
So The Last Holiday is a delight.
Okay.
But that's the only new one. The rest of them are like, well, that's not true.
Are they romance or just the spirit of Christmas?
Mostly the spirit of Christmas. Okay. Holiday Inn is, I always start the year with Holiday Inn, which is Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire.
Oh.
And
I love a good dance sequence.
Right. It's great. There's a very unfortunate blackface scene in it.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to pass.
Well, the
that
crazy
just hurt me. Isn't the word if someone doesn't flinch when you say blackface, you can't be friends with them.
Yeah, you got to wrap it up.
If someone's comfortable around that term,
It's like,
you
what-
got to be like, "See you later, Carol."
Who's Carol? Hey, Carol, why don't you care about blackface?
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to phase it out.
Yeah.
But what is interesting to me is that sometimes they play the movie Holiday Inn on AMC and they take the blackface scene out.
Interesting.
Which
Okay.
I always think that is a bit of a whitewashing of history to take the black. I mean, if you're going to
Yeah.
show Holiday Inn, fucking cringe and watch horrible Bing
Yeah.
Crosby in blackface.
I don't think they're doing a service taking it out because for everybody that sees it, they should literally go, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened."
Right.
And then it starts a good holiday discussion of racism.
Exactly.
And
Who
so
doesn't
taking
wanna-
it out, then you just go, "Oh, look at all these
Look
genteel
how-
white folk."
Exactly, and then the one because and it's also one of the only scenes the one black actress in the movie has. She plays Mamie. A lot of silence right there. Good for you. And then she is essentially his housekeeper, whatever. And she has a couple of kids, and she has like 3 scenes in the movie, and she looks like she could probably act circles around all of them.
Yeah.
The only good thing about Bing Crosby, there are many bad things, him and hitting of his children, these type of things, but was that he tried to get black actors and musicians in every movie that he ever did.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Right. It was something where he was like, what? Anything at all.
Yeah.
It's Louis Armstrong played Louis Armstrong in.
Oprah played Oprah.
He didn't know Oprah. He might have known Oprah. Anyway,
Isn't it kind of crazy how those older, kind of iconic, if you take like a Bing Crosby, then you take like a Frank Sinatra, like how awful these people were?
oh yeah.
Like Frank Sinatra was awful.
right. How great is it that they're dead?
Yeah.
and that I can
He donated. I just went through this nerd it's a 7-part series called Bagmen. Rachel Maddows. You have to listen to it. Everybody
Wow.
has to listen to it. If you're a history buff, it's about the fall of Spiro Agnew during the same time of Watergate. It's such a fascinating. I just finished part 6. I do believe that it wraps up
What
this
is it?
week. It's called The Bagman or Bagman. And it's a half hour each episode of.
is it on
it's a podcast.
CSNBC or something? No, it's a podcast.
It's a podcast. You can get it on your podcast app or MSNBC.com. But it's like Watergate. And I knew he was like corrupt, but and he resigned. That's all. I didn't know anything about him. Fascinating. But anyway, when he was going down and was being prosecuted, Frank Sinatra donated a ton of money for his defense. And he was one of the most corrupt politicians we've ever had. The only vice president to be forced to resign.
Right.
Frank Sinatra was bankrolling the dude.
Yeah. It's there's so
Not
many
to get off
dirtbags.
Hallmark topic.
Right. Well, and the weird thing is so. But if you look at it, I mean, look at Kirk Cameron's sister.
Yeah.
No, she's probably a monster.
Yeah.
We don't know, but we're gonna watch a movie where someone has written a very nice plot.
Yes.
Do you have another one? Let's go to another one.
I have a couple. Okay, so here's a sharp turn I took. Here's a sharp turn. One more, and I'll tell you about the sharp turn. So here's another one that's on deck. These two, I'll probably do a doubleheader tonight. It's weird that I'm not successful in my other avenues of life. Okay, I'm going to do a double decker of Hallmark. Stuff is due. Easy. Okay. With Love Christmas.
With Love Christmas is the name of the movie.
It sure is. An ad exec. I'm already in. An ad exec is forced to team up with her cross coworker. Please, let's bring that word back. On producing a new commercial for an upcoming Christmas project. Yes. I love it. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's the end of it.
That's it. Well, I mean, that's on deck.
That's the description.
Yep.
The description is there's an ad duo, one of who's grump, one of who's not a grump. They got to do a Christmas ad.
And they're going to working together on a Christmas project, which means he is the grump because it said her.
Right.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing gay, so I can only assume it's a man and a woman.
Are there any gay?
No, I'm in desperate need for my sweet gay peeps because I am one. Just to see anything, but I heard Kristen Stewart was going to do a holiday movie, and then someone tweeted out. It was so funny. I think it was my friend Brad tweeted out, "Oh, that's what you want. That's what you want to hear. Like a lesbian that never smiles is doing a romantic."
Well, maybe they'll be the grump. Maybe they'll be the grump.
Maybe she'll make out with a lady that is filled with the Christmas spirit.
Exactly. But what? Okay.
So here's where I took my hard turn last night.
Okay.
Now, I'm on Netflix, and this is why these movies are so great. So, and you can relate to this, obviously. And then just everybody that's overworked can relate to this. Friday night, I did an hour in San Diego, drove back home, drove there Friday, did the show, drove back on Saturday, did 2 Open for Fortune at Flappers, did 2 25-minute sets. Sunday morning, I woke up and had my New York Giants for 3.5 hours. We went into overtime. I was very stressed out. So last night, I needed to shut your brain off. Everybody you shut your brain off.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why these Hallmark movies are just so good.
That's exactly what they were for.
You just shut your brain off and you go, Christmas. And you think about all if you're lucky enough, I'm very lucky to have wonderful Christmases with my family. And that's what they're for. So,
right.
But last night I took a wrong turn.
Wait a minute. You know that the last episode I recorded was with Matt Weinhold, and it was about Christmas horror movies.
Christmas horror?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's a huge genre of that. I didn't even think about it.
Think about this word, Treevenge. That's the name of a movie.
No. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. There's another one called Elves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they on like the FX or Sci-Fi Channel or something like that? Is it like a Hallmark? Is it like a...
I was trying to figure out where he was watching them, but it's Matt Weinhold, so he probably owns them on 35 millimeter. I don't know.
I don't know him. I mean, I know of
comic,
him, but...
San Francisco comic.
Oh, okay.
He is a delight. Anyway, so you gotta check out, and if it's gonna be Treevenge or if it's gonna be Let It Snow, one of those things, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah,
it's gonna be easier for you to get to see. Just sort of. It's why I'll read a romance novel.
Yeah.
Right? And it's beats eating an entire chicken or drinking all of the booze in the whole wide world. Right? I mean, you got to check out, you got to take your brain out.
You got to take your brain out.
And then just go on a lap without it.
Treevenge, I think, might be one of my favorite titles, I think, of all time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better.
It's pretty great. Joan Collins is in a short movie about an evil Santa. 18-minute movie.
No.
Short film, he said. Can't remember the name of it. It might be called a Christmas horror film. Or a Christmas horror movie.
What was she on, Dallas or Dynasty? Dynasty, right?
Dynasty, I think.
Oh, it would be great if we could remember her character and then put that into the title. It was like Crystal Clarington or something like that. It was like Donna.
She murders some guy with a poker. And then,
well, then obviously it's called poker.
With a fire. I don't know why the word fire poker isn't used enough. Not enough people have fireplaces.
Fire poker. That's what it's called. It's called fire poker. It's something like Crystal Harrington. It's not, but I'm very close.
It should be. You are very close.
I'm going to write down the word Crystal Harrington and use that as a. I'm going to join the CIA one day, and that's going to be my spy name, Crystal Harrington.
Mine is Sue Bendorf.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's a real person. She was my roommate one summer when I was 19. She was 18. I've decided to judge her harshly forever.
That's amazing.
She was a pain in the ass. We shared bunk beds and a dowel. That was our closet. We could hang things or as we both did since we were 19 and 18, we just piled things up.
Yeah,
nobody hung.
You pile.
You pile. You don't hang. And she would bring fellas home and then do it on the top bunk.
No.
And I hated her because I worked 90 hours a week at a T-shirt shop, Seconds and Irregulars. Anyway. That was the name of it. Seconds. No, it was not. I wish it was.
Round 2.
Seconds and Irregulars, everything $6.50. Go. $6.50.
God, that sounds terrible.
And yet, kind of the time of my life.
Yeah.
Really. It was the Wisconsin Dells. I was 19. I had crawled into a bottle. I had all the energy in the world.
Yeah.
One night, 2 a.m, took a shirt off. No, because I'd gone to the bar. I'd worked so hard. You were talking about Why am I going to? Why not? Let's tell this story. Might have already told it to you, Rangers. Let's hear it again. Here, Jackie Cation telling a story again. It's 1984. I'm 19. I'm working at Sweet Teas. That was the name of it. I lived behind it in an apartment that I shared with 4 other girls, women. We were all about 18 and 19 years old. 2 of them were sisters. They would occasionally bring a fella home for me. Never worked out because it was always weird. Anyway, they would each bring a fella home. Then they'd bring a third. And that guy and I, they did it twice. We sat next to each other and decided not to make out or do anything. And then that guy left. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was the sisters, their friend, and then Sue Bendorf and myself. Sue Bendorf and myself, room with the bunk beds. 2 sisters, a room with the bunk beds. Somebody in the living room. TV did not work. Only the audio worked. We used to listen to television. It was 1984. It was an exciting time. Moving on. One night, I'm working 90 hours a week at Sweet Teas. And one night, I am exhausted. It's 104 degrees. There's no air conditioning because it's Wisconsin in July. And I'm in my pajamas. They all come home and they're gross. All of my roommates are gross. And I'm like, I'm going to the bar. I am in my pajamas. I am not wearing a bra.
No.
Shorts, t-shirt, no bra. Head down Main Street at around 11:30, 12. I
got nervous for you.
That's right. Here's the good news. This story ends with, and then I wasn't killed.
Okay,
because
good.
I get there, I drink and I drink and I drink. I'm wandering home. It's past bar time, like 2:30 in the morning. It's only about 8 blocks. But I'm walking down Main Street, dead. I've left my glasses at my house, so I've been drinking blind.
Oh, no.
And I'm blind drunk in so many ways.
Oh, no.
And it's 104 degrees, and I'm like, and I remember thinking this in my drunken state, why do guys get to walk around without their shirts on?
Oh, no, please, no. Please, no.
I'd take my shirt off.
No.
And I'm walking down, I was like, this is incredibly comfortable. Boobs, giant boobs, swinging in the wind. There's no wind. It's very hot. All of a sudden, I see a figure walking towards me, a blurry figure. And I'm like, be cool. Be cool. Put your shirt back on. Be cool. So drunk. And so I rustle my shirt. I get it back on. We had both slowed down. The guy waited until I had my shirt back on. And then we come abreast. Huh?
Oh, pun.
Alert. And I say to the guy, and the guy says to me, hey, how's it going? And I was like, good. How are you? And he goes, great. And then he turns around and starts walking with me. And we end up in front of Sweet Teas, which is only another half a block and a half. And there's a bench. And I was like, this is where I work. And he's like, great. And we're just chatting. All I remember is him saying, how's it going? Us sitting on that bench and talking for probably 20 minutes, me telling him that's where I work, and then me saying, well, I gotta go. I gotta work pretty early tomorrow. And he's like, all right. Well, it's nice meeting you. And me saying, did you stop me because I didn't have my shirt on? And he goes, yeah. See ya. And then he walked off.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh.
Merry Christmas.
Wow. That is a Christmas story for Hallmark. Called Boobs in the Snow.
Boobs in the Snow.
Holy crap, Jackie!
What a weird story,
Thank
right?
God we switched to we have every woman has a couple of those. Where
just a bad life decision.
Oh,
I knew I wasn't supposed to.
Oh, I've never taken my shirt.
We had never
taken my shirt off.
There was always this thing where you're like, the social contract that you're not going to murder me. That guy luckily had gotten that contract.
Yeah,
and it was all
I wish
good.
more people had that social contract.
Almost everybody does, though.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. That's the whole thing. There's so many people.
That's an awesome joke of yours. The numbers game.
Yeah, the numbers game. Anyway.
So I took
Let's get back to Christmas.
I took a hard left last night.
Exactly. Let's get into it. What was it?
I went out on a limb and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna watch. I was with my sister. I was like, let's watch like a different type. You know, this is like in the Netflix Christmas genre, right?
Oh my God!
What?
Did you go to mysteries?
No.
Okay.
I went to what I thought was like kind of fun, random action adventure. I didn't know exactly what it was. The description. Well, here's the description. But this is a description online. It was not this description on Netflix. But I went back in and I couldn't find the description on Netflix. It was totally odd. But the description on Netflix was like catchy. It was like a wanderer, a drunk, and a single mom and a store owner. Have a Christmas Eve like none other, or something like that.
Okay.
And I go, okay. Now, online, the description. This is El Camino Christmas on Netflix.
Oh my God! It's called El Camino Christmas.
And I thought, well, I do have a small place in my heart for Texas. More the Beto, Texas than the Cruz, Texas. A young man seeking his father he has never met ends up barricaded in a liquor store with 5 other people on Christmas Eve.
Baron Vaughn's story? No, Baron Vaughn just met his dad. Anyway,
that's right. Oh, I love all that stuff he does
Baron
about
Vaughn.
that.
Yeah.
He's the best. So this was a movie that it didn't know what it was. It was Dax Shepard, who I never liked, but now I have grown to like.
Who is he?
He's an actor.
He's an actor. Regular
He's married
features.
to Kristen Bell, who's
Okay.
who's a little dreamy.
A little dreamy.
He was a little Erin Foley dreamy.
Okay.
And then Tim Allen. I should have just turned off the TV then. And then he doesn't act. He does a pretty good acting job, actually.
Actually, I like him in
but-
everything that he's in, and I never want to be reminded that it's him.
I know, exactly.
It's like that.
He actually did a good job. Then like Hottie McHotterpants, and then the Woman in the Sun, and they're going to get together eventually. But all these crazy circumstances happen, but it's kind of funny, but then it's not. And then the one where I was like, God, I should never watch this was Vincent D'Onofrio. Now I am not a what do you call it?
D'Onofrio fan?
No, I mean someone that like knows movie and act, whatever.
Right.
He just, to me, since day one, screams and just like it's Macbeth, and it was like performance of Macbeth, and he's like a shitty town cop with a drinking problem. And you would have thought it was like, I mean, but that's how he is always.
Okay.
But it was a violent Christmas movie.
Oh,
there was
that's
a
weird.
shootout.
Oh, there was a shoot.
Bunch of people died. And it turns out that at the end of the movie, Tim Allen his father takes one for the team, goes out, starts shooting at the cops, and they shoot him up. And so he finally discovers his father barricaded in a liquor store on Christmas Eve, and then it snows.
Well, thank God there's snow. You got to cover up all those bodies.
It was terrible.
That sounds terrible. That's not Trevenge. That's not what Matt Weinhold is looking for.
Yeah.
But now, I wanted you to take this hard left and go to something. It's either on, I think it's on Lifetime. It might be on Hallmark. There's regular Christmas romance movies, and then there's Christmas mysteries.
Yes. Now,
did you hear about those?
Well, we discovered last year as a family, I think it was last March, the Hallmark Mystery Channel.
Yeah.
Which then, because my parents are obsessed with mysteries. We're like a big mystery family. So, which is weird because I don't even know if those are my right parents. No. But I haven't been on, but the problem was at some point my parents couldn't find that they had the Hallmark Mystery. So are you saying on the Hallmark Mystery Channel there are holiday mysteries?
Yes.
This is exciting.
It is a huge reveal. It might change your life.
I'm writing this down.
Do you have cable? Is that what? Do you have to have cable?
I have a sports problem, so I have every channel.
Oh, that's right. You do have a sports.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we know that we're talking to Erin K. Foley. It's Erin Foley Comic on Twitter. It's Erin Foley or ErinKFoley.com. And then it's Erin K. Foley on the Instagram. Sports Without Balls is your podcast.
It is.
Do you have another podcast?
Just Sports Without Balls.
Just that one on the All Things Comedy Network, which we are both on.
Yes.
The Dork Forest. You're listening to the Dork Forest. Just so you, a little heads up. But where are you going to be in January so people might, if they might want to come see you do the stand-up comedy?
I will be recording a new album on Sunday, January 13th.
What?
I just realized that's
That
the
is
date.
awesome.
Yes.
Where?
At New York Comedy Club, the first place I ever told a joke.
In New York City.
New York City. I'll post everything on Erin K. Foley, Ticket link and all that stuff. I also have to figure out the name of the album.
Right. It could be called Erin K. Foley Stand-Up Comic.
I think it's going to be called Drinking and Marching. Marching and Drinking.
Will you be wearing a Nutcracker outfit?
Of course I will. But
I want you to-
underneath my exterior outfit, the second outfit close to my body will
What
be a
about
Nutcracker.
How about just marching band? I want you to wear a band uniform. Will you please wear, if it's going to be called marching and drinking, if you are wearing a marching band uniform and holding a tumbler of
True.
an adult beverage.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I sometimes got an idea. Some imagery. We got, so now let's get back into it. Christmas movies. Another great Christmas movie that I like to sometimes watch is not even about Christmas. It's the Jack Frost story. It's called Guardians
Of the Galaxy?
Nope. It came out. There was some Owl Guardians movie.
Oh.
Not that fucking movie. Not that goddamn film. This thing on top of there. You want to grab that
Rise
stack?
Guardians?
Rise of the Guardians. That's it.
Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians. And it's essentially about Santa, but it's really about Jack Frost.
Oh, I didn't know Jack Frost had enough of a subplot.
They brought it together. I think it's the Baldwin, the one with the drinking problem who plays Trump.
Alex.
Alex,
What a train
showbiz.
wreck of a family, huh?
Right, very much so. But I always watch that, and I like to watch the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, well, that was
the
a
Mr.
timeless
Magoo
classic.
Christmas Carol. And you don't know the Mr. Magoo?
No.
Well, I don't know if you know this about him. He has eyesight problems. Anyway, so he ends up playing Scrooge and not knowing that he's playing Scrooge because he's Mr. Magoo.
Oh,
The Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol.
I like the design of all. I like that one the best. What is that little creature called?
Oh, she's that might be the love interest, but she's like Tinkerbell. She's a tiny fairy.
I like Tiny Fairies. Tiny Fairies is the name of my band in high school.
Maybe that's the name of your new album, Tiny Fairies. Yeah, but this one is great. Rise of the Guardians is great. It's the tiny guy in the front. That's the Sandman.
Nice.
The guy with the beard. That's going to be Santa.
Oh,
Yep. Do you ever? And that little guy. All of these characters were Happy Meals. Were Happy Meal Rise of the Guardians, and I went to McDonald's and I bought all the toys.
no way.
And I put them in our nativity scene usually every year. Every year, that tiny guy right there usually plays Jack usually plays a shepherd because he's got that stick.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And then the Sandman, he usually plays an angel. And but
That's fitting.
We
That's
have-
an updated nativity.
well, we got a new Joseph and a new Mary.
Oh,
See them?
Yes,
It's going to be Doctor Strange and the Black Widow.
That's one heck of a nativity.
That's a nativity that's very, very powerful.
That's like a Bible 3.0. Why
Right.
isn't- The fact that book has not updated it just needs an update.
No, don't do it. Don't fuck with it. My brother Terry wants to. He's always wanting to update it. He's got a line veto theory. He just wants to take out the words "not," and he wants to change the meaning of the Bible. So
I think it would be nice to keep the sentiment of do good to others and then call it.
I wouldn't mind some editing. You're right. But mostly just.
Just so like my gay folk aren't burned, stuff like that. Just some nice, make it more of a holiday Bible. Like a Hallmark holiday Bible.
Maybe if Hallmark could get involved.
If Hallmark could
And
just
really talk about the meaning of Christmas.
Just the meaning
you would
of
think that
Christmas.
the Bible would have a really great meaning of Christmas story.
You know what? Some other stuff I wanted to tell you before we
Please.
wrap this up. I could talk about this forever. Some other stuff that always happens in Hallmarks, because I wrote down 3 or 4 talking points. There's always an inn, of course. Or
Right.
an inn or a lodge.
Right.
The town names are always Snow Falls,
Crystals. Snowflake.
Snowflakeville. It's always like the theme of like a winter theme.
North Pole.
North Pole. There's always 1 or 2. Well, there's probably be a gazillion now, but per season that has to do with a prince or a princess.
Oh.
Sometimes there's one called like Princess Switch. There's one like the girl
Amnesia?
just starts dating a guy, and it turns out he's a prince. And then they have to go live over there, and they get married on Christmas. There's a lot.
Not over there. She has to go live over there?
She does have to go live over there, and it is a country, oddly enough, I've never heard of. It's
And
unbelievable.
you have some geography skills.
I do. Candace Cameron's in most of them.
She's in most of them. I thought Judith Light used to be in a lot of them.
I think maybe that's just regular Lifetime. I haven't seen her in any holiday stuff, but there's some Lacey Chabert. She had a hold on. She had a lock on a lot of those movies. Winnie from. I was just going to say Hunger Games. That is not correct.
Fred
Winnie
Savage.
The
TV
Wonder
show?
Years.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Hunger Games instead of the Wonder Years.
Games.
The
Maybe
Wonder Games.
The Wonder Games. They were games.
Well, you have to grow up and then you're killed. Yeah, she had a lockdown on a lot of them. But yeah, it's always...
Would you ever act in one?
No, but I'm... Tom Pop and I, and his wife Cynthia, we're all obsessed. We want to write one.
Interesting. I met a woman at a party who directs them. And I had not ever seen them. And so I did not know that I might hurt her feelings by asking her about the B plot. I said, is there a B plot? And she goes, define B plot. And...
not an A plot.
Right. Well, I said, like sometimes, the best example that I've given 1,000 times, Footloose.
Yeah.
It is a romance. It is a dance movie. But the B plot is censorship is bad.
Yeah.
Right. So she said, no, there's never a B plot. There's no message.
But I beg to differ.
Well, see, now that...
The good ones have they have a solid B plot.
And the Nutcracker had the weird thing about capitalism.
Yeah.
And anti-union.
No, are you sure she's a director? I'm kidding. I have to say that, I mean, some of the terrible ones, maybe it's just,
what's
the
a
romance
favorite
or something.
Yeah. Give me some favorite B plots if you can think of a B plot.
Well, I think, harking back to the Let It Snow, a classic gem last night that really made up for El Camino Christmas. The solid, the A plot was her going to the lodge, making this report, figuring out and how Christmas changes her.
Right.
But the solid B plot is the romance with the son.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them do have... I would say a lot of them. I mean, even Christmas Inheritance. She goes to big city, has this mission. She's got to give the card. She's got to show her dad that she's not like a drunken idiot. She's got to. This was a business trip,
right.
But the B plot, boom. She realizes her boyfriend's not it for the right reasons. This guy she meets at the town is filled with the right reasons and the Christmas spirit.
I think I have defined B plot incorrectly. I'm talking about a C plot or like a message, like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Keep abortion legal.
Yes.
Blue Crush, the surfing movie.
Yes.
True happiness is found through corporate sponsorship. That is the hidden sort of, there's always like a hidden message, which is like, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Or be a dick.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess the A plot for every Hallmark.
Right. Is usually the meaning of Christmas. And then the B plot can be romance.
Most of the time, I would say like 80% romance.
Because the meaning of Christmas, it's already a family show.
Yeah. And it's already do the right thing is like implied.
Right. That's why the Nutcracker message was so jarring.
Yeah.
I was like, in the middle of
Yeah.
some anti-union thing.
I guess you could subplot it out and, but, the ones that are bad, you're like, oh, it's just like, surface level stuff. But the one that, you get a little tears at the end. They all, I'm sorry, they all get me. Even the bad ones where I go, I'm going to stick through this, I'll choke up at the end.
I just did an episode with Jen O'Donnell, stand-up comic, does a show at the 3 Clubs called Ladies' Night.
Nice.
And she reads sad literature, sick lit, when she was a kid, In the 90s, it is everyone has leukemia.
No.
And you fall in love. And so it's...
Wait, she reads...
Well, when she was 10 years old, she read a story about a boy written by his sister, and she was like, and it opens up with, I don't want you to cry, I don't want you to be sad, but he dies in the end. He gets in a bike accident. It's my brother Mick. He was the greatest guy in the world. And then the story begins.
Oh, jeez.
And the story is about how Mick didn't wear his fucking bike helmet, man. And she read a passage from it, and literally my goosebumps. It was goosebumps, and my hairs went up.
And she just like, then how does this fit in with stand-up? Is this a non-stand-up show?
No. She was on the Dork Forest talking about sicklet.
Oh, because I was like, I don't understand how you'd go from like a passage of leukemia to like, anybody travel? Like, I was like, I don't know how this is a stand-up show.
Well, she's amazing. She's like, it's the new Nanette. She's
leukemia! Exclamation point. Yeah.
Right. It was, but it was funny because she likes to read a story of sadness. I cry at the ones like I was showing her that I was reading some. It was a book of novellas, just so a bunch of short stories or three novellas written by this woman who can make me cry every time. Yeah. And the name of the three novellas, the umbrella title was Under the Mistletoe. Under the Mistletoe was three stories of they were historical romances, and all three instances, two of them were about married people who had some sort of falling out and how they got back together.
I love that.
And the misunderstandings in these short stories were so minuscule, would not happen in real life. You're like, oh, you've ruined 12 years of your life because you thought you saw something? Wow. What happened?
Yeah.
Use your
Talk
words.
it out. Any follow-up questions? No. Divorce.
Exactly. He's like, he's not going to ask for clarity. He's just going to assume.
Yeah.
And like one of them, the guy thought he saw something or read something or did something. And the woman thought she did something or saw something or was something. Yeah. And then the third one was just two very young people who could not get their shit together until they did. And then you know what happened? They kissed. And it was a beautiful under the mistletoe, and every single one. By the way, each of those novellas, mistletoe. Been meaning to purchase some mistletoe because of that novella.
Nothing bad happens under a mistletoe.
No.
Well, I mean, it could be argued, but let's keep it in the Christmas spirit.
Right. It's Sinatra's not here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. It's a Hallmark mistletoe. There's always a shot, by the way, but about every other movie, they'll look up and they'll go, oh. And it's mistletoe. That's another
excellent
one.
Trope.
Someone doesn't see snow. There's mistletoe.
Who was like, let's just see this weed. We're going to hold it over people and make people kiss each other.
I wondered what the history behind mistletoe was. Do you have a fake secretary like I do on Sports Without Balls?
I don't. We used to be. Tiberius was an assistant for a heartbeat.
Yes.
And then 12 years later, he passed away.
Yes.
And I never, and the gag we never played through. We never played through on the gag. Andy's still sad about Tiberius.
Well, I mean, he's going to be sad forever.
23 years they had him and that crazy.
23 years they were together.
Yep, that tiny lizard that became a giant lizard.
Oh, I had my cat for almost 11, and he's on like Shutterfly. I did notepads with his face, Christmas ornaments.
Oh my god!
So 23 years.
Oh, I might want to take a nice Carmen Morales, took some very beautiful pictures of him.
Yeah, you go on Shutterfly.
Yeah,
this podcast is now sponsored by Shutterfly. You upload an image. It's so easy on the app. They make for great gifts. Christmas ornaments. I love Christmas ornaments. You upload the photo, you choose whatever Christmas ornament you want. Boom, there's the face of your pet, alive or dead, and you put them, boom, on the tree.
I gotta go.
Bye-bye.
And do it
See you
right
later.
now. Right now, I'm going to go do it. Erin K. Foley, you guys, on Twitter. Erin K. Foley, Erin Foley Comic on Twitter, actually. Erin K. Foley on Instagram and ErinKFoley.com. She's one of the best stand-up comics working today. Find her, fuckers. Find her, Rangers. You know what I'm saying. And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other. Merry Christmas.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?